Hello friends. World War II was the most destructive war in human history. Entire cities were wiped out, millions died, and the world we live in today was shaped by this single conflict. In earlier videos, I've told you different stories from World War II. But today, let's understand the full story, from beginning to end. How did it start? Why did it happen? And what impact did it leave behind? Let's begin in 1919, the year World War I ended. A peace agreement called the Treaty of Versailles was signed. One important part of this treaty, Article 231, blamed Germany alone for causing the war. Because of this, Germany was forced to pay a huge fine, $33 billion, which is about $270 billion today. This amount was so massive that Germany completed the final payment almost 100 years later, in 2010. To pay this fine, money had to come from German citizens. Soon after the first payment in 1921, Germany fell into hyperinflation. Their currency, the German mark, became almost worthless. In 1922, a loaf of bread cost 160 marks. Just 1 year later, the same bread cost 200 billion marks. The economy collapsed, unemployment skyrocketed, and people were suffering terribly. In this chaos, a man began rising to power, Adolf Hitler. Through powerful speeches and propaganda, he convinced people that Germany's problems were caused by internal enemies, especially Jews and socialists. In 1923, he tried to overthrow the German government. His attempt failed, but his popularity grew. Over the next decade, Hitler's Nazi party used speeches, posters, media manipulation, and lies to fill people with hatred. The situation got even worse in 1929, during the Great Depression. By 1933, over 6 million Germans were unemployed. People were desperate, and when people are desperate, they are easy to control. That same year, Hitler took complete control and became Germany's dictator. After gaining power, Hitler started building his dream of a racially pure German empire, the German Reich. According to him, only Aryan people deserved to live in Germany. He used conspiracy theories like Judeo-Bolshevism to spread hate and justify violence. In 1935, the world discovered that Germany secretly built an air force, a direct violation of the Treaty of Versailles. But instead of stopping Hitler, Britain even signed a deal known as the Anglo-German Naval Agreement, allowing Germany to have its own navy. Many British leaders believed the treaty had been too harsh on Germany. Meanwhile, France was getting worried. They built a 450 kilometers long defensive wall on their border, the Maginot Line. In 1938, Hitler felt strong enough to take his next step, Austria. He wanted all German-speaking regions united under Nazi rule. After bullying Austria's chancellor and filling the government with Nazi supporters, Germany marched into Austria without any resistance. Many Austrians even welcomed Hitler, fooled by his propaganda. Next, Hitler targeted Czechoslovakia, especially an area called the Sudetenland, where many Germans lived. Britain's Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain wanted to avoid war, so he signed the Munich Agreement, giving Hitler the Sudetenland in exchange for peace. But Hitler broke his promise within months and invaded the rest of Czechoslovakia in 1939. Hitler then set his eyes on Poland. To avoid fighting on two sides, he made a surprising deal, the Non-Aggression Pact with the Soviet Union. Both Germany and the Soviets secretly agreed to split Poland between them. On September 1, 1939, nearly 1 million German soldiers attacked Poland using a new, fast style of warfare called Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War. Within days, Poland collapsed. Britain and France declared war on Germany, but this early period is often called the phony war because no real fighting happened yet. By early 1940, the Soviets also invaded Poland from the east and took their share. Soon after, Germany captured Denmark and Norway. Due to these failures, British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain resigned. Winston Churchill replaced him. On May 10, 1940, Hitler launched a massive attack on France, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. France trusted the Maginot Line, believing Germany wouldn't invade through a thick forest called the Ardennes. But Hitler did exactly that. German tanks rolled through the forest, surprising the Allies. In Belgium, Allied soldiers were surrounded near Dunkirk. Nearly 400,000 troops were trapped with their backs to the sea. Churchill launched Operation Dynamo, the largest evacuation in military history. Civilian boats and the British Navy worked together to save about 350,000 soldiers. But the Allies lost most of their equipment. Weeks later, on June 22, 1940, France surrendered to Germany. By mid-1940, Hitler controlled most of Europe, Austria, Poland, Denmark, Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and France. At this point, only two major powers remained outside Hitler's control. Britain still fighting. The Soviet Union, protected by a temporary peace deal with Germany. The United States had not yet entered the war. Hitler seemed unstoppable. But soon, the war would take a dramatic turn. One that would change everything. We'll continue the story in part 2. Until then, you can check out the video where we discuss how Hitler brainwashed the German population using propaganda. Thank you for watching, and see you in the